The views expressed here on Now See Here are not necessarily those of the sponsors, advertisers, Jack Chris the host, or Roddy Merritt. Hello everybody, Jack Chris here with the Now See Here podcast, available at anchor.fm/Now See Here and on your favorite social media platform. Of course, we're coming to you from CC's Coffee House in Ridgeland, Mississippi. SettleMyCase.com is upstairs, and I am just tickled to death to be joined by, I was going to say old friend, and you know what I mean.
We are old friends. I've known you for 10 years.
I mean, you know, nobody's getting younger, but it's Cindy Cobb.
Aged friends.
Like fine
Aging
wine.
Exactly.
We did a show with Joe Tees and like fine wine. Cindy, you know, on Facebook, I see you everywhere. And you're always so effusive and, you know, just happy and perky all the time. I don't see how you can do that because I do this podcast and, it gets tiring after a while. You know, that interviewing people.
Right.
But tell the audience exactly what all you're doing with video and blogging, and because you are everywhere. You're dominating social media, and I'll get you for it. I
don't know about that. I just love telling stories. I love the stories of the South. I love the people, the places, the things. We have so much to offer. I've been in marketing for 20-something years, and I was riding down the road, literally, and I was just praying, what is my next step? What am I supposed to be doing? I don't feel like I'm making a difference. And God just literally said to me, around the town. And it took me back to my cousin who did a blog, which there were articles back in the day, it was the 80s, called Around the Town by Marietta Macmillan.
People read.
And it was in the center of the magazine, and everybody went to look at her stories and her content, and all of the advertisers and businesses wanted to be on that page.
Yeah.
And I said, that's what it took me back to. At 7:15 that morning, I immediately called her and I said, this just happened. And I said, I don't know what God's trying to tell me. And she said, well, print, you got to be careful with print right now. Newspapers are down. You need to do those videos. You do videos all the time. You've done them since 2009. You need to research videos, live videos. And so I went home that night and I spent about 4 hours. And I just prayed and I just said, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I had done a live video on toilet paper, how to choose toilet paper. Literally.
No, wait a minute. Did someone hire you to do this? Or
no,
you did it on your own?
I did it on my own. I had become a flight attendant, and I had been out of the loop a little bit. I had found out I had osteoporosis. I couldn't fly anymore, so I didn't know what my next step was. So I thought I'm going to see if I still have any kind of viewership on live on Facebook. And so I walked in over to Kroger, had a ponytail and no makeup on, and I was kind of in a daze, and I didn't plan to do it, and I was just looking at the toilet paper with all the options, and I'm thinking to myself, what happened to 3 choices? I mean, 1 ply, 2 ply, double roll, single roll, triple roll. It's a plethora of
like toothpaste.
And this sweet lady walks over to me, and she said, ma'am, I don't know what's going on with you. She said, but I've been watching you for 5 minutes look at this toilet paper. And she said, let me show you how to choose your toilet paper. And I said, okay. And she walked up and she scanned the toilet paper and she looked at the coupon little, bucket things. She pulled it out and she said, okay, this is the regular $9.99. You're going to get $3 off. That makes it $6.99. Then they'll give you some 50 cents off at the register. And I said, I'm about to do a vlog. I didn't know that's what it was called at the time, so I went on live telling that story and showing the options. I got 4,000 views within 4 days.
I thought you were going to say Mr. Whipple showed up. For those of you who, what I do, whatever's cheapest, Jack buys.
That's hilarious.
Which is why I walk funny, I guess. But so you got 4,000 views?
I got 4,000 views within 4 or 5 days, and I realized the significance at the time of video on social media.
And you still had it?
And I still have that.
No, what I'm saying
still
is
have the video.
You realized you still had it.
Not that I had it, that the people still wanted to watch things.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to watch just anybody.
Well, that's the way I like to do it.
There's a certain je ne sais quoi you've got to have.
Yeah. So anyway, it took me back to that when she said that to me, and I did my research. I got my plan together. I've been social. I'm a social butterfly. I love connecting. I love doing the videos. I love telling stories. So I came up with a business plan, and I took it to 2 people at first that I highly admire in this town.
Right.
And he said, it's brilliant. He said, you should do it. And he gave me suggestions, and I tweaked things, and I started a month ago. I just had my year anniversary.
Congratulations.
And I'm having a blast. I've done over 100 vlogs.
So what do you have? Give us the names.
Oh, it's
of
called
all...
Around the Town in the South.
In the South.
In the South.
Yeah.
And when you can find me on social media on all platforms, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I have a website. I think that's it. So everything I do goes on most of those platforms because a lot of my friends who are in business are on LinkedIn, but they're not on social media.
Right.
So I want to share what we're doing. It's not about me, it's about the stories that I share. I mean, when you do a story on a young lady at Jackson Prep who got accolades and awards for making a receipt dress. She is so artistic. She's going places. And those are the kind of stories I want to showcase because that's what we have to offer. A lot of people don't know right in our backyard the things that we have to do that are not costly.
But let me ask you this, because when I started this podcast, I'm like you. It's all going social media. I was in print forever, and it's a dinosaur, unfortunately. I hate to see that. But what I wanted to do, my model was to have a general talk show where people didn't yell at each other.
Right.
Where even people with different political views could talk.
Right.
All right, and have a rational discussion because we don't see that on TV. We hear a
No.
lot of yelling and screaming, and it's BS.
Right, exactly.
There are a lot of people around the country, and I assume here locally, who probably do what you do. So what distinguishes...
What distinguishes
do.
me is that nobody does live video. When I started researching this, they would do vlogs on travel. They would do vlogs on food, but it was not the platform I was doing where I go live with the stories, unless I'm out in the boat with Ricky Flint looking at alligators and I lose service. Then they are recorded. But I go live. I try to keep it under 9 minutes and 50 seconds. What differentiates me is my platform is all things positive. There's so much negative in the world, just like
Yeah.
you just said.
Yeah.
All my stories are positive. I steer clear of religion and I steer clear of politics.
Politics, yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Because those are for other people platforms. And although I do support both, I'm a Christian and I support my local politicians, I steer clear of that on my show.
Well, and you get death threats, too.
I don't want death threats.
I've gotten them. I mean,
because I love my life.
Well, I like my life, too. It's gotten that crazy, though. I mean, people are so
Yeah.
polarized, so you're doing the smart thing. But what kind of criteria do you look for? I mean, you say good things, but it sounds like if you're in a boat, with alligators and you're also looking at toilet paper, it sounds like anything goes in the Cindy Cobb world.
It is, and it does. And the story on the alligator was, why does Mississippi have hunting and alligator season? Why do they need to thin them out? To me, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
That a lot of the northern people or the people in Colorado, they don't have alligators, and they're like, why are we hunting alligators? So my family, I'm from hunters, not alligators, but my friends do. So I thought that would be a great show, and then I did Bobby Rush. He was 83 years old when he won his first Grammy.
Great
He's an
musician.
amazing artist.
Right.
He's right here from Mississippi. So that was a really good vlog. Malcolm White. Malcolm brings so much, just tourism, light, love, art, music to Mississippi.
Food.
Yes, food. And so, when I look for stories, I look for who are you, what do you do, what has it gotten you, and how do you give back? Every vlog I say, where do you give back? Every person that I talk to about doing a story, and they tell me everyone they either have a charitable organization
Yeah.
that they're involved with, or is something that they do. And that's part of the Southern culture. That's part of, it's around the town in the South. We have 14 states in the South. I had no idea we had 14 states in the South. And so when I incorporated this, I said, I want to be outside of Mississippi, even though it's my home state. I lived in Alabama for 17 years. I lived in Texas for a few months. I lived in Dayton, Ohio for a few months. I lived in North Carolina. So I wanted to incorporate Southern things, all positive.
But are you hearing from people in the North or on the West Coast?
Yes.
Yeah? What are they telling you?
They love what we're doing. They
Because
watch
we have a
us.
stereotype, and it's a bad
Yeah.
one.
It depends on how you look at it, and I don't live in that bad world. My friends I have Facebook friends all over because I have another business, and I have business partners all over the country and outside of the country. And so that's why, I'll get people from California saying, oh my gosh, I love that. They had no idea. My goal is if you are in Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas, and you want to travel somewhere for a weekend or a week, what does Mississippi have to offer? What does Alabama have to offer? Don't go out of the country, stay in the country. Don't just go to the beach. There's so much you can do right here. You can do a staycation right here for 5 or 6 days that you've never done with your family. And so that's my goal, to showcase positive things, bring tourism to the South, and put that positive light. We're not barefoot, stupid, and toothless, and that we're not.
And you think you are accomplishing your goals?
I
mean, a
do,
year
absolutely.
In.
Yeah, we get reviews and positive things. You would not believe my inbox. We've been doing this, like I said, a year and a month. My inbox is full of, I love that. Thank you for showcasing that. I had no idea. And those affirmations mean a lot.
Do you find your guests, or do they find you, or is it a little bit of both?
When I first started, I mean, I have a list. Like, I have a list of probably 100. At all times, I'm adding to my list, trying to get the stories. And so I have people call me and say, hey, there's a story on just like the receipt dress. I had no idea. That came to me through a friend, and I immediately reached out to her. I showcased cousins who were in the review at Jackson Prep. And what the review did, that's not how you pronounce it, but how it brought them closer as cousins, and also what it meant for the community, for what they give back through song and dance and show and showcasing. So I get suggestions all the time. Some I cannot do, I will not do, and some I put on my list.
Let me ask you this. If you were ever to be approached by a network, local or otherwise, would you go to the old TV model and give up what we're doing here?
No. I would do segments. They could follow me doing segments, but I will never give up. Right now, social media is the world. It's the way to go. It's marketing. I just did a very, very expensive class, and the weird thing was I did it right before this came to fruition. I had no idea why I was taking this class, and 2 weeks later is when God brought this to me. And so I know where it is right now. I know, just like MySpace went away, we don't have anything set in stone that may stay. Just like TV, I watch TV for a couple of reasons. When I go get the news, I go to social media. I go to social media pages or
Most
apps.
people do, yeah.
So I find out so much more. So I don't want to give that. That was my whole thing, is bringing live vlogs, which are video stories, to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and the places where people, I mean, I have so many friends who've cut the cord. They don't even watch TV.
Oh, yeah. Quite a few have.
So
yeah.
if I'm on TV, they're not watching me. I want to be everywhere. So if I had someone approach me, that would be honored. I'll be so humbled, I'm just going to say. But it would be in a way that they would just follow me doing what I'm doing.
If the money was right.
No, because like you say,
well, I
it's
can't
going
say
away.
the same.
I mean, I want to trace.
I'll take the money.
I want to stay true to what I'm
I
doing
understand, no.
and the platform and the mission that I have.
Cindy Cobb is our guest here on Now See Here. I'm Jack Chris. Are you doing this daily, weekly? How often?
Well, it's just me, and so I do everything. I do my writing, my content, my website updates. I do my scheduling. I do my travel. I do my collaborations.
DIY. Yeah.
I do everything myself, which is great. And within a year, you've learned things to do, not to do, how to tweak, how to make things better. So, like yesterday, I did 3. Today I'm doing 2. Tomorrow I have 1. Friday I'm going on the Redneck Adventure in Natchez. I cannot wait. And then I'm going on the Natchez, some river, some lake or something, I don't know.
Are
for
alligators
Saturday.
involved?
I don't know.
Probably.
I have no idea. This is a Jim Bob who has a TV show, contacted me and said, I'd love for you to come do a vlog on me. And that's what I'm saying. I had no idea that he did this. I had no idea who he was. And so I want to bring, our viewers, and not just my viewers, your viewers. So listen, if you're on those platforms, please go to my page, Around the Town of the South, and go to the Instagram and follow. Go to YouTube. I'm at 52 subscribers. I need 100 so I can get my own URL. I'm on LinkedIn. Look for me because, I want your friends and their friends to know what we're doing here in the South.
We got a saleswoman here.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Well, and look, that's why when I interview people from out of state, I make sure they know this is coming from Ridgeland, Mississippi, because we do have articulate people here. Every time Mississippi's on the news, it seems a tornado goes through a trailer park, and these people with no teeth who slaughtered the King's English appear as Mississippians. All right, let me put you on the spot.
But that is so part of our culture too, and we love them. And the deal is this: the news are gonna do what makes their ratings go up, and that makes their ratings go up.
And enforce their stereotypes. I still think that's part of it. But let me put you on the spot and ask: can you name a favorite show you've done in the past year? Or two, even?
I'll do two. Malcolm White, when I sit with him, I'm literally, my knees are shaking because he has so much to offer. He is so humble and so kind. I've done two with him. And it was on the parade, the St. Patrick's Day parade,
Yeah.
and talking about his brother and how it came about, and the first parade, and then the second one we did was a follow-up, and so he includes me on everything that they do now, and it's just humbling. He has a lot to offer Mississippi. I love having him on my show. The second one is Bobby Rush.
Yeah.
And Bobby, we connected that day. Listen, I wish we could have videoed the 30 minutes before because we had a blast. The man has so much love for Mississippi, so much love for people in his heart. Just talking to him, literally, like you could, if you go watch that vlog, you can see my knees knocking. I'm sitting with a Grammy award-winning artist from right here. Those are the two that really stand out. And then I was in a boat in Alabama with Dustin Connell. He is a professional fisherman. He's an angler. He dated my stepdaughter in high school and loved to fish. It was always an issue between the two of them. Loved to fish. And when he came over here and won the Bassmasters in my backyard right here in Ridgeland on the reservoir, I did not even know he was over here. I texted his mother and said, "Where are y'all? I'm on my way over there." And I watched him win the award. And so I went to Chilton County in his backyard, which I lived 17 years. We got in his boat and did his story. Those are things that mean so much to me because I've watched this kid grow from, 14 years old to now
Yeah.
28-year-old man living his dream, 29 he may be, living his dream of fishing. And it brings me chills right now because of what he's accomplished.
Reconnecting with your daughter.
Well, we stay connected on social media.
All right, look. Roddy and I have this conversation all the time. We've even debated it on the show. I mean, social media is where it's at right now.
Right
okay?
now.
However,
Right now.
things change every day. What's hot today is going to be cold tomorrow. And I get a little ticked off because the most idiotic crap, gets the most hits on YouTube. Just this bizarre, idiotic stuff. And things like what we're trying to do, civilized, good things, great conversation. We're a little bit marginalized because we're not doing that bizarre kind of stuff. How are you going to keep up with all the trends, Cindy? I mean, it's hard to do. I leave it up to Roddy. I keep up with a little bit of
It's
it.
ever changing, and I'll tell you, I'm glad you asked that question. Last month, Twitter and Facebook went down simultaneously in 2 days.
Yeah.
And I mean, people were in a panic. If you are growing your business only on Facebook and Instagram, you better get on YouTube. You better get on your you better get your website. You better find a platform, LinkedIn, where these people can find you and start promoting. So that's what I've been doing. You said you haven't seen me on my blogs lately. This whole weekend I spent revamping my website. I spent, I do a lot of Google. I know this is funny. Got YouTube learning because that's where you learn things. To me, if somebody's doing it, they've already set the boat for me to follow them.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow them. So you have to look forward. So like TikTok right now is one of the big things. I'm looking at TikTok going, oh my gosh, another one. I want to be present. If social media goes down, I want them to say, oh, well, she's on YouTube or she's on her website. She's still going to be doing this.
We can find
That's
them,
what
yeah.
you have to do. You have to be where people can find you, where your viewers can find you.
How are we doing on time, Roddy? I know Miss Cobb here is busy. She's the entrepreneur. She's got places to go. Are you okay?
What time is it? Yeah, I have 5 minutes. It's great. I'm enjoying this, and I want to thank you for what you're doing. We're
we're
a
just
little bit
starting,
different. And let me go back and say, the reason why some of those videos go viral is because people are looking to escape a world they live in, even if it's for 5 minutes to laugh.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line, and that's what they're looking for, entertainment. They're looking for, something that is new to them. I posted a blog, 3 photos at Easter. On the plastic Easter egg has a hole. And you can put your dum-dum sucker in there. After you suck it and you want to save it, you can put it in that egg and save it. So I did the pictures of the Easter egg. You're fixing to die. I did a picture of the Easter egg. I did a picture of the sucker in the Easter egg, and I did my niece holding it. Guess how many? This thing went viral. 8 million. 8 million. So you never know what people are looking for. They're wanting to be educated, entertained, and part of that is what is it going to do for me when I'm watching it? Am I going to laugh? I want people to feel emotion of some kind when they watch what we do or they see my vlogs.
Well, Roddy and I were thinking about doing a mail calendar.
Yeah, y'all need to stay away from that.
That might get some laughs.
Y'all need to stay away from that. I'll give y'all some content to do. You have to add
there's
your
plenty
spin
of content.
on things, though.
There is so much content out there. There is. You have to pick and choose and be careful.
Right.
But again, I mean, who knows where we're going to be a year from now?
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
Facebook may not be the dominant player.
Right.
There may be some kid in a garage right now in Silicon Valley or,
there
wherever.
There are already 3 more that are coming up. They're up
Yeah.
and coming. I mean, there's 3 more that I've been researching and looking at, and I'm like, you have to think forward. You have to stay forward. You have to look at your millennials. What are your millennials doing? Because they're your future generation.
That's right.
I mean, they are.
Well,
so what are they doing? What are they watching? And what's interesting to them?
Your enthusiasm is contagious. I enjoy it. It's good, as a native Mississippian, it's good for me to see. I want you to, in the time we've got remaining, tell us what is coming up. Give us some highlights of some shows that people can look forward to.
Well, I just did a collaboration with Clinton. It's all about Clinton. Had a great 24 hours there showcase in my hometown. That was my first thing. I'm about to do one in Ridgeland. I'm excited about that. Yeah. I've got a redneck adventure. I don't tell what I'm doing coming up because you never know when someone's going to cancel or if it's going to rain.
Right.
So I never even post that day unless it's 5 minutes. I'll say I'm going live in 5. It's always a surprise what I'm doing.
All right. Is there anybody out there you haven't interviewed that you really want to?
Heck yes, Hootie and the Blowfish. I'm dying. I'm going to South Carolina.
Hey, Roddy, get him on the line.
I'm going to South Carolina for their concert. I've seen Hootie and the Blowfish at least a dozen times in my lifetime. They didn't tour. They broke their tour up and they went solo. Now they're back together. So when I was looking at my tickets, as you know, I'm a concert person. I love concerts and music.
Yeah.
And so I said, I want to go to this concert, but I want to go in their home space. So I booked with a good friend of mine, Sherry Kelly, went to high school with Sherry. We're going to South Carolina for the September the 11th show on his hometown. We are right up front.
You can meet him. Go.
I'm dying to meet him. I would love to do it. And also, I want to do a vlog on 3 Doors Down. I followed them for years. They have a huge Mississippi story. They give back. They have the Better Life Foundation where they give back. I love when people give back. So there are a lot. I mean, in my hometown, there's a lot I'd love to do too. And I'm getting... I'm sending out emails. Hey, I'm Cindy Cobb. I got 3 emails last night from people too in Tennessee. Said, hey, I have a business where I showcased artists, and this is my page. Go look at it. Will you consider coming up here and doing vlogs on some of our musicians? I was like, yeah.
Good for you.
So as we're going, we are getting recognized. It just takes a minute.
It does. You got to keep doing it. Cindy, you're the busy entrepreneur, busy businesswoman. You've got to go. We appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to be on the show. Now see here. Now tell us again where people can find you, because they want to look. They want to see.
Around the Town in the South. If you Google Around the Town in the South, everything will come up because I've Googled that. You've got to Google everything. And I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, my website, and my YouTube. Hey, please go give me a YouTube. I got to hit 100 so I can get my own URL. Right now it's just a bunch of numbers that I can't remember. So thank you for the show, and I'm going to leave you with this last little bit.
She's looking right at the camera. You notice that?
Things to do as a vlogger and not to do. Don't get a spray tan the day before you have a big vlog. You will look orange. I did it last week.
Oh, yeah, I won't do that.
Second thing is always check your teeth and your nose because you never know who you're going to be talking to and when. And if someone offers you gum, always take it. Those are my final 3.
Because they're trying to tell you that your breath stinks.
Hey, I didn't say it, you did.
No, you didn't offer me gum. Thank goodness. I guess I'm
just saying.
doing
Those are the 3
right.
things that right now that I'm saying, okay, today. Tomorrow will be something different. Stay tuned for what we're doing. We're having a blast.
One other thing, product placement. How about that? CC's, settlemycase.com.
Oh, absolutely. I love CC's. Listen, they have I don't drink coffee. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. But my niece came into town. She had to have a latte. I said, we're going to go to CC's. They're local. She said it's the best latte. Some kind of skinny milk, white, chocolate, almond something. She said it's the best thing she ever put in her mouth. Now, this morning I had an egg white cheese.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, my gosh. It was delicious.
Yep.
So they have other things in here, but I love it because it's local and it's owned by locals.
Cindy, glad to see you prospering in this post-media age we're living in.
Yeah.
So keep it up. Keep up the good
Thank you.
work.
And I'm proud of you, and thank you for having me. Keep up the good work.
I'm going to do my best. The Now See Here podcast, and goodbye to our YouTube audience. Thanks for listening to Now See Here. I'm Jack Chris on behalf of Cindy Cobb, Roddy Merritt behind the board. Take care. We'll see you again soon.
See you around the town.